All I keep saying is that I feel like she's obsessed with me. I don't think she's going to stop, especially because I was already in the process of filing for divorce. She does everything that she can, and she's even verbalized to make my life miserable. Once she gets on something, she does not stop. It's like text after text after text, and it doesn't matter what I say. I really am, and my mom has even said to me, like, she's worried that Beth is going to do like a side. It's really how I feel. Like, I think she's capable of killing me. I really do.
Do you know if she has any mental history or mental issues or anything of the sort?
She told me that years ago, her ex, who she was with for 14 years, had her Baker acted. Like, I fear that she might hurt me or someone that she perceives is in her way, because right now she perceives that this guy is in her way. Yeah, I just want her to stop. Like, I just want her to leave me alone.
Are you in fear of her?
I am.
What is it that you're in fear of?
I know that people say this all the time, but like, I think that she may have a mental illness. Like, it runs in her family.
As of now, today, are you in fear of her?
Yeah. She gets so crazy.
Welcome back to another Shields of Shame video, everyone. In today's video, I got something super special for you. It's a cop that was made super famous by Lackluster in a 5-video series on this cop, Bethany Guerriero, formerly known as Bethany Fedorenchik. Why is that important? Well, you see, years before the incident with Ryan at the pool, Bethany found herself on the wrong side of the law and was charged with stalking. That's right, stalking. You may say, well, who was she stalking? Her wife at the time, who is Nicole Guerriero, who works at the Delray Beach Police Department. Bethany works at the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department in Florida. The two met up, started dating, hit it off, got married, moved in together, and adopted a kid. Things went south really fast, according to court documents. Not only did she get arrested for stalking Nicole, Nicole had to get a restraining order on Bethany, which is crazy because she's a cop. However, the case was not prosecuted. State Attorney David Aronberg and Assistant State Attorney Bethany Johnson decided not to prosecute Bethany and dropped all the charges. However, the lingering court dockets still remain. Once I found these court documents on Bethany, there was references to the interviews that I'm about to show you of Nicole Guerriero. And I will tell you, the things she says about Bethany are pretty damn wild. And just keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, as you're watching this interview. Bethany Fedorenchik Guerriero is still a cop today at the same agency. You see, she was terminated for what she did to Ryan at the pool. However, after an internal affairs review, they investigated themselves. They found nothing wrong with anything she did. Ryan sued Bethany. Unfortunately, Bethany obtained qualified immunity and the case was dismissed. However, we don't let things slide that easily around here. When Lackluster first broke this story, I was super interested in finding out more about Bethany and her crazy shenanigans. What did I find out? That she runs a donut shop called 5.0 Donuts. Now, the interviews that I'm going to show you were heavily redacted by the Delray Beach Police Department. The first set of interviews, they redacted not only Nicole's identity, but every time her name was stated or Bethany's name was stated, that was muted in the interviews. So I filed complaints and I let them know that you can't use Marcy's Law, and also Nicole is not a victim. In fact, Nicole Guerriero's name appears in the court documents, which was part of my complaint. How can you redact something that's been released by the courts online for all to see? You can't. So they sent me new versions of the interviews where the names weren't redacted. However, they still blurred Nicole's face, even though not only does her name appear in the court documents, Her picture is all over the Delray Beach Police Department's Facebook page. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Peace and love.
Officer Bethany Guerriero arrives on scene, visibly shaking and screaming. She yells orders at Ryan as he tries to explain that he's already spoken with an officer and that his aggressors are inside. Her response was to initiate a felony stop by drawing her service weapon and aiming it at Ryan, making this the second time his life was threatened with a firearm in less than 10 minutes for swimming. He is then handcuffed by the officers. Ryan alleges that Bethany and other officers would berate him over the next few minutes, which matches up, after reports show that she was found to have been in violation of department regulations after berating a suspect in 2019, and was forced to turn in her badge for 2 months in 2020 after she was charged with stalking, which is a rabbit hole of a story in itself.
Today is Wednesday, September 20th, 2017. Time is 18:01 hours. I'm here at the Delray Beach Police Department, interview room number 3, in reference to a Signal 13 possible stalking case. Present is myself, Detective Carney. State your name for me.
Nicole Guerriero.
Spell last name.
Guerriero. Date of birth. 12.
All right, and we are here in reference to what's going on.
My wife, who I am in the process, we're separated, in the process of getting divorce papers for her, is, I guess, stalking me. I feel like she's stalking me.
Okay. You said you're a estranged wife, or that you're living separately?
We live separately.
Okay. How long have you known her?
Since 2011. July of 2011, I met her.
Okay. And at that point, y'all were friends, dating?
Yeah, I met her, and we became friends, and then soon after we started dating.
Okay. And the dating moved to moving in?
Yeah, in, I think it was January of 2012. She moved into my home that I owned prior to me meeting her, for years before I knew her.
Okay. And then from the moving in, y'all guys got married?
We did. We got married in February of 2014.
And any children in common?
We adopted a child in February of 2017 this year.
Okay. Just one?
Yeah, we fostered her beforehand.
Okay. Okay. And then things started becoming astray when?
Well, there was always odd things, but in April of 2017, it started to go bad after one of my friends died, and I told her that I did not want to be in a relationship anymore, and that's really kind of what started it.
Okay. So starting around from 2011 to 2017, things were normal or semi-okay, or there was no stalking issues?
No, because we never separated, or like she would call my friends if she didn't know where I was, or if she thought something for some reason was going on, she would call people that I knew and ask them behind my back, and I didn't know until they would come to me and tell me, hey, Beth just called me. One of my friends came and said, Beth just called me, wanted to know if I knew where you were and if you were cheating on her. She would do that, like she reached out to several of my friends that way, and I would tell her, don't do that. Like, there's no reason for you to feel this way, there's no reason for you to act this way, and I don't want you contacting my friends, because they're not your friends, and a lot of times they were people I work with or I supervised, so.
Okay. And your estranged wife is black, white, Hispanic?
White.
Okay. And her full name?
Bethany Ann Guerriero.
What was her name prior to marriage?
Fedorenchik, Fedorenchik.
Okay. And what city is she employed?
Palm Beach Gardens.
And in what city does she reside?
Delray Beach, here, city of.
Okay, so in April 2017, things started to go bad. Explain to me what you mean by that.
A lot of it initially surrounded the death of my friend. She reacted really poorly to that. When I was at the hospital with my friend, she would contact people that were with me and tell them that I needed to come home and that they should bring me home, and she would contact me and tell me, you need to come home, and if you want, I'll go back there with you, just like over and over. And when I wouldn't respond, she reached out to one of my friends and then to my supervisor, who was there with us as well. And that was like the first couple of days, and then one day, because there were two people that were involved in that crash that killed my friend, I went to see the second person involved who survived the crash, and while I was there, she was texting me that if I went out that night, that she would not be there when I got back, and she was going to take our daughter with her, and that I wouldn't see her, and just like kept going on and saying that, you know, she would fight me in court for her, and just crazy things that I felt like came out of nowhere. It just didn't match what I was saying to her. Like, all I said was, we're going to go out after the hospital just to blow off some steam, because we had been in the hospital for 5 days. And she just really reacted badly to it. And then when I got home that night, I saw the car that she drives pull up into the driveway, and when the doors opened, my daughter got out with a suitcase. And so I asked her, like, where she had been, and my daughter said that she went to Fran and Kelly's house, which is Beth's friends that live in Boynton. So Beth told me that she did indeed take her out of the house with the intent to go stay somewhere, but then thought it was a bad idea, so she came back.
Okay. At what point do you feel that the stalking started? Well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
When was the relationship over?
April. Yeah.
2017, April.
2017.
It was verbalized to both of y'all. You were under the understanding that the relationship is going to be no more.
So part of, I think, what escalated this was that I told her that the relationship was over. I made it very, very clear to her multiple times that the relationship was over, and this was probably the second week of April, probably around maybe like the 12th, April 12th, like around that time.
Okay.
And she didn't want to accept it. She kept saying that I was going through stuff, that it was because of the death of my friend that I felt this way, even though I told her, no, this is not why. I had told you in the past I wasn't happy. I'm done. And I never changed my opinion or what I said to her. I never gave her the idea that we would get back together. I let her stay in the house because she didn't have anywhere to go at that time, until she told me she was going to look for a place. So she went and stayed in the other room. She was okay for a bit, but then I found out that, again, she was like calling my friends and sending direct messages through Facebook to my friends saying that she was concerned for me and for them to watch out, to watch over me, and like just weird things that she was saying to them. And I would tell her, I told you to stop reaching out to my friends, you don't need to do that, whatever.
How many friends would you say she reached out to? Well,
she reached out to different friends at different times. So, like, during that initial time, like April-ish, probably, like, maybe 3 friends and my mom. She tried to talk to my mom a couple of times, but I had already told my mom what was going on, so she, knew. She kind of expected it. I think things really started to get bad in July. In July, I was at my mom's house. I had gone out one night, and I didn't get home till late. And then the next day or 2 days later, she was working, and I was at my mom's house with my daughter. And I was texting with one of my friends, and she was home, had come home from work, and went into my room and got my Apple Watch. And I had changed the code already on my Apple Watch. I don't know how she knew it or got it, but she got into my watch and read my text messages. And she saw that I was dating an ex that I had dated prior to meeting her. And that was like the beginning of just crazy behavior, like inexplainable behavior.
Okay, so in July 2017, the watch that you had, it wasn't a joint watch.
No.
That y'all guys, common property that you would share back and forth, or that she ever gotten into before,
No.
And you said you changed the password on it specifically so that you could have privacy.
Well, because she had, prior to that, and I don't remember when exactly, but it happened several times, but also right prior to that, she knew stuff that I was texting people or Facebook messaging people, and I couldn't figure out why. She had gotten into my iPad and was looking at, like, my Facebook messages, and my text messages were coming through on my iPad, so I had to change that password, and I had to change the password on my Facebook account, and I had to stop the text messages from going to my iPad. And when I did that, I also changed the password to my watch, because I didn't, at that time my passwords were easy for her to figure out because I used almost the same one for everything. And so I figured if I changed it, she wouldn't be able to get into it.
Okay. And she had access to this due to stuff she was saying to you, or why do you think it was this stuff in particular that
It was the only way. It was the only, she would say things to me, super specific to what I had just said or what that other person had just said. So she had to have been looking at the message. And the only way she could have at one point was my iPad. And actually, she had admitted it in the past that my iPad was on the table, and she heard a text message go off on my iPad. So she went to it and opened it and looked at the message. So.
Going through the iPad and Facebook, was that in the July 27, or from the April time frame, or was it when y'all guys were still?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, both. She had done it in the past, and then also did it in that time frame.
You were separated.
Well. Yeah. So I think pretty soon into July is when, into April is when I changed the codes because of that specific thing, of her doing that.
Anything else you have changed since then due to concerns?
Everything. I've changed my banking password. I've changed my email password. I've changed again my Apple Watch, my password for my iPhone. I changed my iCloud password because at one point I didn't know until I figured out it was the watch, how she was getting my messages. Because I would send a text, and then within minutes she was texting me a question about what I had just texted. So she would use my verbiage in it. And so I knew that she had read the text message that I had just sent. So I changed the iCloud password. I changed Facebook, Instagram. I actually blocked her from all of my social media. I have changed the locks on my house. I cleared out the garage code so she couldn't access my garage. I put cameras up at my house.
What is she doing from July to now that has caused you to change all of this?
So, like, I describe it as, like, it's like she's manic. She goes on, like, these crazy rants and texts me over and over and over, and she'll say things like she'll just call me names and say that I ruined the family and that she's going to make my life miserable and that this is karma. Like, anything bad that happens to me is karma. And the guy that she saw that I was dating from my watch, she has told me through text message that she's had someone follow him, that she hired someone to follow him. She emailed me an 80-page internet report that she ran on him. She said things like that she couldn't possibly know about him, like that she had reached out to ex-girlfriends and that he had been engaged and that did I know that he would take pain pills, like intimate things that either I don't know how she would know, to be honest. She told me his address. Like, she told me he lived in West Palm, and she told me that his dad lived, or that he had another house in West Palm where his dad lives. And she would say to me, ask him who he was on the phone with at 4:30 in the morning 2 nights ago. And ask him who he was on the phone with at 1:30 in the morning last night. And did you know where he was last night? Because I do. And most recently she texted him this past Saturday and said, it is now in your best interest to stay away from Nicole.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what I say to her. If I say to her, I'm not dating him, we're not together, I haven't talked to him in weeks, it doesn't matter what I say to her, it just makes her more and more angry. And she just goes on like these texting rants about him and me and that he's a scumbag and that I'm disgusting and just all of these things that she says, and it's just scary.
And the reason you can't block her number or cut off contact with her is due to?
My daughter.
Okay.
But I've told her in the text messages, like, you have to stop. Like, I'll tell her to stop, or I'll say, I've said to her multiple times, like, don't text me unless it's 4 days in a row. So I need to have contact with her if something happens, or I try to FaceTime my daughter like once a night just so that she knows I'm still here, you know.
Has she ever showed up at any places unexpectedly or unexpected that you've been at?
Not that I could think off of the top of my head.
Any contact, I know you said, with your friends and with a boyfriend or a male friend of yours, any contact with your employment?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Well, just, some of the friends I work with. And she did contact my supervisor twice. My assistant chief, she reached out to her twice via direct message on Facebook, I think. One, I'm not sure if they were both via Facebook, because I don't think she has her phone number.
Do you know of them to have been friends at any point?
No. Mm-mm. The only contact they had was through me, and I think it was one time the assistant chief took my daughter to the movies, and I was working, so she went and picked her up at the house, and Beth was there.
Okay.
But they're not friends or talk or anything like that.
Okay. Anytime where she has maybe stated that she's followed you or left you a message saying that she knows where you are, what you've been doing, or anything like that?
No.
Anything via email?
No, that her thing is more like she doesn't stop. Like she'll like text like a rant, or even when she's not like on that in that manic state, it's like she tries to keep contact with me. She'll make a small topic, she'll email me 4 or 5 times about it, and it's like she just can't say something and then be done with it. It's like she's got to keep that contact going. Like, for example, over her drill. Like, she'll email me 4 times about a drill, and it's like it's not necessary to do that, you know? It's like she can't, she can't stop.
Are you in fear of her?
I am.
What is it that you're in fear of?
I know that people say this all the time, but, like, I think that she may have a mental illness. Like, it runs in her family. And so, just from the things that I've seen throughout the years, and especially now with the way that she's acting, like, I fear that she might hurt me or someone that she perceives is in her way, because right now, she perceives that this guy is in her way, and that's, like, kind of what her text messages say.
Are you in fear for your daughter being with her?
Right now, no, I'm not. She hasn't done anything to her. Really, it's just aimed at me and him.
Okay. And you made mention of medical in her family. Do you know if she has any mental history or mental issues or anything of the sort?
She told me that years ago, her ex, who she was with for 14 years, had her Baker acted.
Do you know what it was for?
I don't, because what I'm coming to find out is that she has never really told me the truth about things. She told me that the ex did it, like, to punish her, like, to get back at her for something. So I don't know what it was exactly that she said or did that made that happen.
Do you know if she's on any medication?
Yes, she's on Prozac, I think.
Okay. Prescribed?
Yes.
Do you know if she has any firearms?
Many. She has, I think she has 3 Glocks. One of them's her duty weapon. 2 are off duty. And she has an AR-15 that I think belongs to the police department she works for.
Okay, and then you had brought copies of text messages between y'all? Okay, so what I'm going to do, instead of keeping this here while I'll go through this will be what I go through in reference to seeing what is there for stalking. So with that, there's 2 routes we can go. If I go through this and I see that there is enough information and contact after you have told her on what you're saying is multiple times to not contact you in reference, unless it's in reference to your child, you can take the incident report and turn around and go file a stalking injunction order with the courts next door to have her no longer make contact with you. The clause will be for your daughter, but that'll be something that the judge is going to have to go over with you in reference to contact via child exchange or telephone when you or her have your child in common. The other option that is also there is if there is enough to move forward that probable cause could be there. But that would be up to you whether or not you want to move forward with pressing charges or whether you're here for documentation purposes at this time. The other thing is usually what happens in cases like these is once the incident report is made, contact is made with the subject in question, which would be Beth.
Yeah, I don't want that right now.
Okay. So with that being said, if that's not something you're wanting to move forward with, for liability purposes only, we'll have you just fill out a statement form just saying you don't want contact and your reasoning for no contact.
At this point right now, really is more that I think it's going to escalate things. And especially like that she has my daughter every 4 days. You know, right now I just feel like it would maybe make things worse. But just for right now.
Okay. At any point from April to now, would she be under any type of impression that at some point or another y'all guys were getting back together?
I think only in her mind. Like, I have been nice to her, and part of the reason why I've been nice to her is because of my daughter. I just feel like it's harder for my daughter because she has been through a lot in her life. Like, having been adopted, she's gone through a lot. And so I tried to ask Beth to please, let's do this as easy as we could for her sake. And so I would try to be nice to her. When Beth's nice, I try to prolong the niceness. Like, just having conversations with her via text. Like, just, answering her and being friendly and nice. But never once have I ever told her that we were ever going to get back together. I would tell her quite the opposite, that we were not going to get back together. But she would respond with like, oh, you're just going through something, and give it time. Then recently we had a hurricane, and my power was shut off. It wasn't working. And her power went on like 2 days before mine. And at that time, we had to work 12-hour days. I had to be here at 6 in the morning, and we worked till 6 at night. So the first night that we were able to leave here, I went home, and my house was like unbearable. I tried to use the generator, and I didn't have a portable air conditioner, and it was unbearable. So we had been communicating because she brought my daughter to Virginia to stay during the hurricane. So we had been communicating, and she said, why don't you just go stay at my house? She works 12-hour days as well, and she works later than me. So I figured if I went to her house, we would have very limited contact with each other. So I agreed that first night to go to her house, and I slept there. And she came home like at 8:30 or something like that, and I think I went to bed at like 9. So we had very limited contact. I slept in a separate room. I got up early, showered, and came to work. The next day, I made arrangements to get an air conditioner, a portable air conditioner, and I brought it to my house and to try to use it. What I now know is the carburetor fell off my generator, and so the air conditioner just stopped working. So again, it was like 8 o'clock at night or whatever time. It was really hot, and so in communication, she goes, just go stay at my house. And so I did the same exact thing. She worked late. I went to her house and went to sleep soon after she got home. And then the next day, my power was back on. So I never said anything to her like, hey, let's get, never once. But maybe staying at her house, I don't know.
If Florida wasn't in the state of emergency that it was in, would that have been something you would have done on any other occasion?
No way. And if I didn't have to work, I would have stayed in that hot house. My only thing was to have to be here for 12 hours and be alert. I had to sleep. So if no one else had power, if I had another friend who had power, I would have went and stayed there. I felt like she's right up the block from work. I felt like I had no choice. Any other time, no way. If I didn't have to work, I would have sweat in my house. I wouldn't have cared.
So due to your job and the importance of it, the decision was made that staying there would be better than you coming here supervising other people with no sleep and exhausted.
Right.
Okay.
And also because when she's nice, she's very nice. Like, she's over the top nice. And during that time, she was being very nice. So I thought that it would be okay during that time. Like, I limited my contact and it would be okay. But not thinking, because then after that, like the day or 2 days after that, it started all over again, where she was texting me and calling me names, and it just, like, it started all over again.
So when she's nice, but then that eventually ends, and the other texting nonstop.
Yeah, like an obsessive, I don't even know what to call it. Like, all I keep saying is that I feel like she's obsessed with me. Like, that's how it feels when I get her text messages. I feel like she's obsessed with me. And because I won't do what she wants, which is get back together with her, she does everything that she can, and she's even verbalized, to make my life miserable. So that's what happens. Like, she's super nice, like over the top nice, almost to a phony point. And then it's like on this roller coaster, I keep saying, like, it's super high, and then when it's low, it's like really bad. You know, like the following people and the calling me names and calling them names, and just it's crazy.
Okay. So, and any responses that you might have on these texts where you're being civil, I'm going to assume is, and correct me if I'm assuming incorrectly, is in due to trying to keep a semi-healthy relationship for your child.
Yes. And even times you'll see in the text, I'll say, you know, this is better than arguing. You know, hopefully we can maintain this type of communication, because it's better than what it was. And you'll see, like, reference to text messages prior to that. Like, it's better than that. It's better than, you know, us, like, I don't know why. I don't know, somehow she came to. So the bag was outside. When I came out, she was there. So she was asking me what we were going to do. And even that turned into her screaming at me, telling me that the guy that she thinks I'm with is a piece of shit, and that she can't believe that I don't see it, and like just yelling at me in front of my house, and like just saying like just crazy things, and there's no calming her down. And then she'll get in her car and drive away and text me, because I'll walk away from her and go in the house. So because now she doesn't have an audience, she will drive away and text me.
Was this the first occasion that she's come to your house and started a fight to where either she's left or you've had to ask her to leave? Or
No. So my daughter's birthday was in August, and for months we had planned to do this roller skating party for her. We had talked about it with her. This is what she wanted. Like, she talks about her birthday in January, and her birthday's in August. And so she had said consistently that's what she wanted. So in order to try to keep some normalcy, I said to Beth, why don't we have this birthday party for her? We'll take her roller skating, we'll have her friends come, and then we'll come back to the house, because we couldn't get an actual, like, party room or an actual party there because they were booked. I said, I'll have her friends come back to the house and we'll do cake and food. So that was agreed upon. So I had her come to the house with thinking there's going to be people there, you know, so it shouldn't be bad. She stayed because there was 3 or 2 kids that were sleeping over. So she stayed, and it ended up in a fight. Like, her asking me about Charlie, and when the guy that she found out about asking, and when I wouldn't answer questions about him, it just escalated with the kids being upstairs, and she was cursing and yelling and calling me names, and I told her she needed to leave my house, and she continued to yell and call me names, and I told her, you need to get out of my house now. So eventually she left, but then, of course, texted me afterwards.
Okay. So you've responded with her to stop. Yes. The last time you've responded with her to stop, do you recall when?
It was actually just the other day. I think it was like 2 days ago, or I can't remember, maybe Monday or Sunday. I don't know. It was recently. And I told her that the only reason that she should tell me, and then I emailed it to her with the subject line saying, and then she would ask me, she had like a drill at my house. So she's like all of a sudden obsessive over the drill. Where's the drill? Do you have the drill? When can I have it back? I know you don't care. So like 4 different emails about her drill. And then she emails me, say, what do you want to do? And then like just things that normally she wouldn't, because Thursday was my, so why are you asking me? You know, just keeping that email thing going. And then she went from like being nasty to me to sending me an email where she puts like a smiley face in it. And so I didn't respond to, I would initially send her the email. If she had a question about it, I would respond, and that would be it. And it was short responses.
So you don't think this last time that you told her to stop is going to, she's going to stop?
I don't think she's going to stop, no. No, I don't think she's going to stop, especially because I was already in the process of filing for divorce, and I believe that the petition is going to be served on her within the next week, and I think that that's just going to make it worse, because she has told me that she does not want a divorce.
Okay, so what I'm going to do from here is I will take this, I will look through it, I will go ahead and start the process in reference to writing the report and my supplemental to it, and once that is completed, then of course at that point you can get a copy of it, and what you choose to do, whether you choose to move forward with charges or whether you just want documentation purposes, is going to be on you. I will have you do a quick statement just in reference to the no contact, and we will move forward from there. The telephone number that you gave me is a good number to get in contact with you directly, correct? Okay, do me a favor and raise your right hand. Everything that you have told me is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
It is.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and conclude this at 18:39 hours.
Are you a supervisor? Can you ask this lady why I'm in handcuffs? Tell her what crime I've committed.
I keep trying to tell you.
Go ahead, what crime?
Talking over me.
What crime?
Okay, let's bring it down a notch,
No,
okay?
just tell me what crime I'm in handcuffs for.
Because I get called it because
Crime.
someone is...
What's suspicion?
You don't need to be in crime.
Yes, I do. To detain me, you need suspicion of a crime.
No, you do not.
Yes, you do. You don't know the law? Please explain it to them. You cannot just go around detaining random people.
Can you calm down for a second?
I'm in handcuffs for
calm down?
random.
Obviously, we're not
Can I
getting
stand
anywhere.
up? I'll calm down if I can stand up.
No, you're not
you
standing
can
up.
have a seat on the ground.
For what crime? What did
I'm
I
in
do?
charge, not you.
No, you're not.
And you blue nail polish, cute.
Okay.
No,
I'm not gonna do it. What did I do?
Down, all right?
What did I do?
All right, don't try to get up. Sit down.
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge? Nope. Can someone tell me why I'm in
I already
handcuffs?
told someone
what
in charge to
crime
get here.
or what?
Right now, all I need you for to do is keep your mouth shut.
I don't care. I'm not gonna do it. Arrest me.